Are we alone? Not somewhere beyond the stars, but here on Earth. When most people imagine aliens, they picture something arriving. A bright object appears in the sky, a ship descends through the clouds, and strange beings step onto the ground. But that story assumes they would want us to see them. It assumes a civilization advanced enough to cross the distance between stars would arrive loudly, introduce itself, and wait for humanity to understand. But what if that is not how first contact happens? What if something reached Earth long before we were capable of recognizing it? What if it never left? And what if the reason we have not found aliens is not because they are too far away, but because we have been looking for the wrong thing? There is currently no confirmed scientific evidence that extraterrestrial beings have visited Earth. No verified alien body, no confirmed material from another world, and no object that independent scientists can confidently say came from another civilization. An unidentified object is not automatically extraterrestrial. A strange light is not automatically a spacecraft. A confusing video is not automatically evidence. Still, the absence of confirmed evidence only tells us that nothing has been proven yet. There is a difference between something not being real and something not being recognized. Human beings are good at finding things that behave the way we expect. But all of those expectations come from one planet and one form of life. Something that evolved under a different sun might not resemble us at all. If something advanced were here, it might not need to pretend to be human or even be biological. Imagine a civilization trying to study a distant planet. Sending a living pilot would be incredibly difficult. The journey could take thousands or even millions of years. A machine, however, could remain inactive for centuries, wake only when something important happened, and observe without interfering. Scientists and futurists have discussed autonomous interstellar probes for decades. A probe like that could have reached Earth when our ancestors were still small animals hiding from predators. By the time humans appeared, the civilization that created it might no longer exist, while the machine quietly continued following instructions given millions of years earlier. And what would it look like? Probably not a silver disk covered in flashing lights. A machine designed to remain hidden might be small, dark, and silent. It might resemble a rock, remain beneath the ground, or observe Earth from somewhere no one would think to search. It could also hide in the largest environment on our planet. The ocean covers most of Earth, and much of the deep seafloor has never been directly observed. This does not mean aliens are hiding underwater. There is no confirmed evidence of that. But the darkness, crushing pressure, and limited exploration would make the ocean an effective place to hide something. Human beings live mostly on land. We build our cities there, place our cameras there, and point many of our most powerful instruments toward the sky. Something beneath several kilometers of dark water could remain beyond ordinary human observation. But hiding does not always require distance. Sometimes it only requires being mistaken for something else. A bird can land on a surveillance camera and stare directly into the lens, but it does not understand that the object is watching. The camera is not invisible. Its purpose is invisible. An alien device might not need to hide from our eyes. It may only need to hide from our understanding. We could find it and call it debris, a strange mineral, a dead satellite, or a sensor malfunction. The object could be visible while its meaning remains completely hidden. Earth already shows us that intelligence can take unfamiliar forms. An octopus solves problems using a nervous system spread throughout its body. Ant colonies perform complex tasks even though no single ant understands the whole system. None of these are aliens, but they show us that intelligence does not have to organize itself the way human intelligence does. An extraterrestrial intelligence might function more like a network than a creature. It could think so slowly that one decision takes centuries, or so quickly that we notice only the aftermath. We search for intelligence by looking for tools, language, structures, signals, and movement. But that may be like searching an ocean for birds and concluding that nothing lives there because nothing has feathers. Our definition may simply be too narrow. So why would they remain hidden? One possibility is that they would have no reason to speak to us. Human beings study animals without introducing ourselves to them. Sometimes the animals notice our cameras, but they do not understand the system surrounding them. An extraterrestrial observer might treat Earth the same way. This is sometimes called the zoo hypothesis. Maybe contact would change us too much, or maybe they simply do not consider us ready. There is another possibility that is even more uncomfortable. Maybe they are not hiding from us. Maybe we are simply not important enough to contact. When humans build a road, we do not negotiate with every insect colony beneath it. When we cross the ocean, we do not explain ourselves to the fish. An older civilization may look at humanity and see something active and complicated, but not yet something worth speaking to. That may be the most disturbing version of aliens among us. They would not be invaders or monsters wearing human skin. They would be observers who have been here for a long time and still do not consider us part of the conversation. Strange things have been reported in the sky. Some cases are explained as aircraft, drones, balloons, atmospheric effects, or incomplete information. Others remain unresolved. But unresolved does not mean extraterrestrial. Sometimes the available data is simply too poor to determine what happened. Real evidence would need to survive serious examination. It would need to be independently tested, its origin traced, and natural or human explanations ruled out. That is why the most responsible conclusion is still that we have no confirmed proof of alien visitors on Earth. But that does not mean every mystery has been solved. Maybe Earth has never been visited. Maybe intelligent life is too rare. Maybe every alien story humanity has ever told began inside the human imagination. But if something had reached us, we should not assume it would behave like a visitor in one of our stories. It might not have a pilot, it might not want conversation, it might hide in a place we rarely reach, or sit directly in front of us while we fail to understand what we are seeing. A fish can swim above a buried cable carrying the thoughts, voices, and images of billions of human beings. The cable is physically close, but the world inside it is completely inaccessible to the fish. Maybe humanity is in a similar position. We may be seeing pieces of something larger without understanding how they connect. We call it weather, we call it noise, we call it debris, we call it nothing. So, are aliens among us? There is no proof that they are, but if another intelligence had been watching Earth quietly for centuries, what exactly would we expect to find? Would we find a spaceship, a body, or a message, or would we find only small irregularities scattered across a world too large for us to watch all at once? Maybe every living mind on this planet was born here, and every unexplained mystery will eventually receive an ordinary explanation. But if we are not alone, the discovery may not begin with an invasion. It may begin with something small, something ignored for years, and something we have seen before but never understood. And the moment we finally recognize it, we may realize that first contact did not just happen, it happened a very long time ago. We simply failed to notice.